Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State basketball. The Tiger men and women taking on Nebraska Kearney this past Saturday at Gross Coliseum, the first of a three-game homestand for the Tigers. They'll be back in action at home this week, Thursday night. Missouri Western comes to town, and then on Saturday it's Northwest Missouri State. We'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson, women's coach Tony Hobson about the game and preview the week ahead for the Tigers. A program brought to you as always by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail in Hays, and by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hays, the taste that brings you back. We will take our first break. Head women's coach Tony Hobson will join us right after this here on Tiger Talk. And welcome back to Tiger Talk. That was some of the action from Saturday as the Fort Hays State women took on Nebraska Kearney. Unfortunately, it was a rough afternoon for the ladies. They fall 78-64. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The fresh cooked-to-order steak burgers, the great shoestring fries, and of course the convenient drive-thru on North Vine and Hays. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. It's the taste that brings you back. Coach, it was kind of a rough afternoon, back and forth first quarter, but really that second quarter on, unfortunately, was kind of all Nebraska Kearney from that point on.
Well, it was. They just did not miss any open shots, it seemed like. And, if you look down the stat sheet, the glaring difference is we were 3 for 17 from the three, and they were 11 for 16. So we took about the same number of shots from that area, and they outscored us by 24. It's just it's disappointing because I thought we were just kind of a step behind defensively most of the day. And while 2 or 3 of their threes were contested and just really good shots, I thought several of them were open and just poor defense. But the second half, when we were trying to make a run, they 2 times in a row it looked like. If I remember right. Once I thought we had them turned over in the lane and they get a loose ball, kick it out to Brown for a 3, and the other time was an offensive rebound kick out for a 3, and those were just really daggers because we had it cut to 8, and I thought we were going to make a run at them, and every time that we did that, they seemed to get one of those to go in.
Yeah, and they were certainly due. You've had their number over the years, but a lot of close games, and you got to give them credit. They shot the ball well. It seemed like, especially in the first half, that penetration and kickoff, it just took you guys a while to adjust and take that aspect of their game away from them.
Well, one of our weaknesses defensively is just containing the dribble, and I didn't think we did it very well. It seemed like they would get into the lane, and then as we would shift, somebody would come open and they'd get a good opportunity. So early on, it was like them getting to the basket, and they had a couple good drives in the first few possessions, and then it seemed like once we kind of got that under control, we struggled from the perimeter. So, like I said, I was disappointed in our defensive effort. I thought we looked like we lacked a little energy, and that just makes no sense to me, being at home and having a week to prepare, and it was just really disappointing for us.
And you mentioned the shooting. You shoot 40%, which isn't a terrible percentage considering at times it's been a struggle, but the three-point shooting, it's been a struggle seemingly all year long to get consistent three-point shooting with this squad so far.
Well, yeah, it is, and it's never the same person. I don't know when we've had 2 or 3 people hot the same night. Every once in a while, Casey against Pitt State was 5 for 7, shot it well, and then Taylor shot it well against Emporia from the 3. But it's just so inconsistent that we can't get anything going and can't really depend on it. And you take Tatiana's 9 out of 13, you take that out of the mix and then figure the shooting percentage, and then you're down in the 20s. And while you might live with that from the 3, we missed a lot of easy shots. Missed several close-in shots, and a couple of them were contested, but still we usually make those. So we just have to try to regroup and correct a few things and move on.
Is that a focus issue? I mean, obviously there's a lot of skill in shooting the basketball. It seems like when teams struggle, sometimes it's just a lack of focus or whatever the case may be.
Well, I don't know if it's focus or if it's just like how we look like we're kind of a half step behind defensively. I think when you're not like totally into it and just playing hard and just really going, I think you have a tendency to shoot worse. I think you have a tendency to miss easy shots. And I think it was just a culmination of all those things that just took us down, and we really put up a stinker, you know.
Well, the Tigers, another big week, hopefully can bounce back. 2 more games at home during this current 3-game homestand. It starts Thursday night. Missouri Western will come to town, and then Saturday afternoon, the Bearcats from Northwest Missouri State. Tiger Talk brought to you again by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hayes. Check them out, the convenient drive-thru, the cook-to-order steak burgers, and more at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. We'll take a break. More with Coach Hobson right after this here on Tiger Talk.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. That was more of the action from Saturday. Bucket by Lainey Page. Last lead the Tigers would have there in that first quarter. Unfortunately, had to come from behind all day long and just could not quite get it done. Now the Tigers back at home for the next couple of games this week. Thursday against Missouri Western, and then Saturday Northwest Missouri State. Obviously big games for both, but starting on Thursday, Missouri Western right there with you in the conference standings. And I know you don't want to put too much pressure on one game in mid-January, but it's a pretty big game coming up on Thursday night.
Well, it is. It's as big as you can get in the middle of the season, and I think we need 2 good games, but you know, you can't have 2 if you don't get the first one. So Missouri Western is a really athletic team, and to see them, well, and us down where we're at in the conference at this point, trying to battle and scratch our way back is a little, you know, it's strange, but that's an awful good team we're playing to try to get back on track. You know, they're athletic and they play hard and they always defend well, and I know they'll be ready to go, and they're you know, pushing on the desperate button a little bit like we are, and you know, sometimes teams really respond to that and sometimes they don't, so we'll just have to hope that we do.
Yeah, Coach Edmondson, he's got a lot of different faces seemingly every year, but he always gets them to play hard and play well and battle. And it's not always an easy task to do, but he seems to always have his team, as you said, they're scrappy, they're going to play hard, and you're going to have to earn everything you get against them. Yeah,
I think he had like 8 new kids on his roster this year, all but 1 transfer. But he has a knack of getting them together as well as you can in that short of a time, and I think it goes back to, you know, he coached in the JUCO ranks, and you do that every year in the JUCO ranks, and so he does. They will play hard, and they'll be prepared, and they always scrap. They're tough, and we've had some good ones with them over the years, and you know, it's been a while since they've been here.
Yeah.
With the way our brilliant schedule is, and I think it's been 3 years since they've played here. So it'll be good to have them on our home court. But again, it's certainly not an easy game. I mean, and I knew Kearney would be a battle. Same way with these guys, you know. So I think we're 2 pretty evenly matched teams, and we're going to have to just play better than we did against Kearney, or that we'll have the same result. And, hopefully, I mean, it won't be hard to play better. We need to play quite a bit better. So we need to, like I said, we just, you know, other than T, we couldn't get anything going on offense. So we need a little more production out of Carly, a little more production out of Emma. And when we have them not really scoring much, and then Casey having a little bit of an off night, nobody really shooting the ball that well, we're going to struggle. So it's nice to kind of have that ground game and have somebody to go to. And T was, you know, like I said, really the only person that was real effective the whole game. So against Missouri Western, we're going to have to have more than that. We're going to have more than one person that can get the ball to go in.
And I guess gut check time, probably no better way to say it. I mean, obviously, you lose the game at home. You drop 2 out of 3 now, and kind of a crossroads. Still time to get back on track and make a run and get in, but you can't afford to let too many more of these slip away. And we'll see how your team responds in this situation.
Well, we'll find out real quickly, and you kind of find out what kind of kids you have, and I know what kind of kids we have, but sometimes they get their heads down and they have a hard time climbing out of it, and you just have to find the people that are ready to go and really ready to play hard and dig in, and all you need is 6 or 7 of them and you can get it done. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Well, hopefully it all starts on Thursday night. Missouri Western, the Griffins come to town. As Coach said, first time in a while, they'll be playing at Gross Coliseum. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you Thursday at the Coliseum.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's head coach Tony Hopson of the Fort Hays State women. Again, a 5:30 start on Thursday night against Missouri Western, and then Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, the Bearcats from Northwest Missouri State come to town. Tiger Talk brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. They're at 27th and Indian Trail. Stop on by on your way to work. Get that nice hot piping cup of coffee, or piping hot cup of coffee. They've got something for every meal there. Great breakfast items as well as lunch and supper. All at Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail in Hays. We'll take a break. When we come back, men's coach Mark Johnson will join us right here on Tiger Talk.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we shift gears and talk some men's basketball with head coach Mark Johnson. You heard some of the action from Saturday as Fort Hays State got a nice win, 78-69 over the Lopers of Nebraska Kearney. And great win, obviously. Anytime you beat the Lopers, it's a nice win. But, boy, defensively, that first half was really probably the difference in the basketball game. I think you held them to 1 point over a 9-minute stretch. You went on a 15-1 run to build a double-figure lead and had just enough the rest of the way to hold on and get the win.
Yeah, we did. We really guarded well. It was, I think we held them to, 24% from the field. We only 20 points. They were 0 for 12 from 3. And, I think a lot of that has to do with us. Obviously, they missed a few shots from 3 that they, most times make, but I think we had them sped up and made it difficult on them. Thought we did a really good job on Trey Landsman and made it a really tough first half for him, which allowed us to be successful. We struggled offensively ourselves, didn't score very many points. But I agree, that first half, that was really the difference in the game. Second half was pretty much a dead even. Really, neither one of us could stop each other in the second half. So kind of interesting game. It was just completely 2 different halves. First half, defensive struggle, had a hard time scoring points. Second half, it was, offensive, 49 all, and they shot, 61%, and we ended up shooting 72%. So, we made some big shots in the second half. Every time they got it to about 9, it seemed like, I know Jared Vistam kind of had his moments in that stretch. Marcus Cooper hit a big 3, and then Hadley kind of scored about 6 straight for us.
Yeah, I had that stretch. I think you hit 4 straight threes and maybe 5 out of 6 possessions. You knocked in 3-pointers to kind of hold them at bay. And that second half felt like the game a year ago when they scored 101. But it was good to see your team respond and I guess kind of find a way to win it in 2 different styles of play.
Yeah, I mean they're hard to stop offensively. They're a very good offensive team, and it was the second half was last year, and and we got away with that on our home floor. Your home floor, you kind of make some shots, make some plays. You know, we go back up to their place last week of the season. We're going to have to guard for 40 minutes if we expect to win. We can't have a half where we give up 61% like we did. But all in all, pretty happy with our guys. It was a game we needed to have, had to win. You know, just coming off a road, you know, getting swept on the road. You have some very difficult challenges coming up here pretty soon, and that was a game we had to have, and our guys did what they needed to do.
You mentioned Jared Vitztum got a taste of it on the road last week when Peyton Stevens went down. He had 10 points against Central Missouri, 7-rebound game against Southwest Baptist, but 15 points. He didn't miss a shot, a perfect 6 for 6, 3 threes. Probably his best game as a Tiger, and probably what you like about it, the moment didn't seem too big for him, and you can tell he was out there having fun and enjoying it, and that's a big shot on the arm for your squad here, hopefully the rest of the way.
Well, we need as much offensive output any way we can get it, and it was nice. You know, he's not going to shoot the ball that well every time. You know, I mean, that's pretty much hard to do, but it was the other things. Yeah, it was great. He made his threes and he scored 15 points, but I liked the other points where he made a couple nice moves in the first half to score. Thought he defended really well against Landsman, especially in the first half. You know, only had 2 rebounds, but I thought he rebounded well on the road trip. So the scoring's a nice bonus, and when he can make his shots, he can be a stretch 4-man like that. He's 6'7", can get a shot off, and he can spread the floor for us. But it was also the other things besides that, making shots, that I thought was helped us a little bit win some games.
And Marcus Cooper had a good game for you. 11 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. I think you talked about it after the game. Maybe his best game as a Tiger.
Yeah, you know, he's really gotten a lot better defensively. At the beginning of the year, to start of the season, he struggled on that end. He's really gotten where he's not hurting us that bad. He's becoming a pretty good defender. He's 6'4". He's a big, strong, physical guy. You know, I still think he's a guy just trying to figure it out. You know, he doesn't want to make mistakes. You know, he's trying to do the right thing. In turn, he gets passive. I mean, we need him getting to the rim. I thought he tried to get to the rim and be physical. He's a physical player. When he drives it, he's not necessarily just going to blow by you, but he can bump you off of you and put pressure on the official to call some fouls. So hopefully his mindset is changing a little bit. Like I said, I think he just doesn't want to mess up. He's trying to do the right thing, so he gets a little passive and plays catch on the perimeter, and we need him more of a downhill player.
And he hit a 3, and I know that's been a struggle. He had hit one in conference play just to get that one in. He's probably not going to be a guy you're going to be looking to take a lot of threes, but when he gets the open shot, it's nice to know he can make it, and hopefully that gets him going.
Yeah, you know, you look overall for the season, he's like 36%, which, you know, for him, we'd take that. You know, like I said, he's not going to take a lot, but he's got to be able, when they back all the way off, he's got to keep them honest. But he was 0 for 7, I think, in our conference game. So it was nice that he made one, and it was a big one. You know, I think it was a 9-point game or something, and he got us back up to 12. So hopefully he can keep progressing and give us these type of performances a little more often.
Well, the Tigers get the win. They beat the Lopers by 9, get back above 500 in conference play, and will play the middle game of their 3-game homestand on Thursday against Missouri Western, and then Saturday afternoon, the defending national champions come to town in Northwest Missouri State. We'll talk about those 2 games when we return. Tiger Talk brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. North Vine and Hayes, they had the fresh custard churned fresh throughout the day. Of course, the cooked-to-order steak burgers. Don't forget about the Chicago-style hot dogs, and of course, those famous shoestring fries. All waiting for you on North Vine and Hayes. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. It's the taste that brings you back. We will take our final break and talk to Coach Johnson and wrap it up right after this here on Tiger Talk.
As you plan for your business in 2018, advertising should be an important part of your growth strategy. Digital marketing puts your business in front of the right customers online. Advertising with the Hayes Post ensures your message will be viewed 1.5 million times a month, including 375,000 unique views a week. Are you ready to grow your business? Advertise with us today. It's affordable and it works. Call us today at 785-628-0467. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, our final segment here this evening. Fort Hays State getting set for a couple of home games this week against Missouri Western and Northwest Missouri State. Program brought to you again by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. And it's been a while since you've played either of these teams at the Coliseum. We talk about Northwest and their All-American point guard Justin Pitts. Will be his first ever game at Gross Coliseum. You can say the same for Missouri Western, and boy, that's shaping up up to be a big game on Thursday night. Obviously, a daunting task with the Bearcats Saturday. You got the win over Kearney. Be nice to back it up with a big win against Missouri Western, but man, it's not going to be easy. Their record is misleading. You look, they don't get blown out by anybody. They just battle everybody tough, just haven't quite been able to get over the hump and get on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different type of game than we did at Kearney. I mean, they're, like I said, they really grind it out. They guard you really well. You look at their losses right now. I think they have a 4-point loss, a 5-point loss, and 2 6-point losses. So, like I said, they're playing everybody really, really close, and they're going to make it hard for us to score. So we got to make sure we make it hard for them to score. And this is another, to me, a game we have to have. You know, you look on your schedule, and not that you don't feel like you can't win every game, and all that, but you can't. There's certain games you just got to win, because you know other games are going to be. You know, we got the defending national champion coming in, that probably to me right now is, even though they have one loss, is still to me the favorite to win the national championship, and then we go back out on the road. So this is a game Thursday that is the game we got to focus on. It's the most important game of the week. You know, Northwest is going to beat some people, and you understand that. And so, but if you can beat Northwest, like I always say, you're gaining ground. You're gaining ground. If you lose to Missouri Western, we're losing ground. So we have to find a way Thursday to get a win. And like I said, they really get after you and make it a low-tempo game and a slow pace, and try to get it in the 50s and 60s. And every point is a challenge. So, you know, that's the game we need to do. Play well and defend for 40 minutes, and hopefully we play well offensively.
Defensively, it seems like at times this team has a chance to be pretty good, and we see glimpses of it. Still probably waiting for that full 40 minutes. Although I guess in Bolivar, you had a pretty good complete game and just kind of ran out of gas in the overtime. But it seems like defensively, this team has come along quite a bit throughout the course of the year.
Well, I think the thing we've done well this year, we're defending the three-point shot a lot better this year than probably the last few years. We're doing a better job with that, and at times when you do that, you get yourself a little exposed. And it's like we were talking, you know, today in practice, you know, with our length and athleticism, or whatever you want, you know, if we're not really maxed out with our intensity level and focus, we can become pretty average pretty quick. You know, there's other teams who, you know, can be out of position, not really locked in, and they can just react right away and make up ground. We really can't do that. So if we're not at the highest end, then all of a sudden our defense can drop a little. And realistically, it's hard to be at your best for 40 minutes. You know, we got to try to be at our best as long as we can. And I think we're getting closer with that, and starting to guard a lot better. And we're going to need that for the rest of the season.
But you mentioned the game on Thursday with Western and then Northwest, and just a quick preview of them. It obviously starts with their point guard, Pitts. I mean, if there's anyone better in the country, I'd like to see him. He makes them go, and there's a reason they've won as many games as they have during his tenure. I mean, he's a special type player, and you can try to probably approach him many different ways. He finds ways to beat you. If he's not scoring, he's dishing it. He's just tough to defend.
He really is. You know, he's the defending, not only they're the defending national, he's the defending National Player of the Year. I feel like he's the best player we've ever faced, and they're doing a good job of surrounding him with shooters and size. There are other guys don't really have to do it. You spread the floor and you overhelp on Pitts, which you have to, because you can't guard him with one defender. He's, you know, I think his decision making and his efficiency shooting the ball is what separates him. The guy gets, you know, he shoots some games 11 of 13 from the field, going 7 of 8 from 3. He doesn't have to take a lot of shots, and then he never forces it. He never rushes. When the next guy's open, he'll hit him. You know, you even look at Trey. I think he's the Trey Young of our level at Oklahoma. They play the very similar styles. I would say even what separates him a little bit from Trey Young is his decision making. He forces nothing. He's willing to have a game where he only scores 10 points because you're doing everything in the world to stop him and let his teammates. You know, that's hard for a lot of guys to do. You know, you get the ball that much and you become the National Player of the Year. You kind of create a monster with a lot of players, and he doesn't do that. He's going to take what you give him, and for us to beat him, I mean, we're going to have to play really well. They're going to have to be missing some shots a little bit. If they're clicking from 3, they become very difficult and a hard challenge for us. Missouri Southern did beat them this year, so our guys need to go out there and play with confidence. They're not invincible. I mean, they've been beaten, and they haven't had to play out here. He's a senior, and he's never played in Hays, Kansas, so hopefully maybe Groves Coliseum we can have a special performance, and if we play well and they miss some threes there a little bit, no reason we can't be there at the end and have a great opportunity to win the game.
But you played hard and really gave them a pretty good battle at their place a year ago. And who knows, it'll be their 4th game in 8 days. They're playing today. They've got to make the trip to Kearney on Thursday. Maybe it'll wear them down. We'll see. But it should be a lot of fun. But as you said, it all begins on Thursday night. That's the key game this week to start it all off with against Western.
Yeah, no question. This 3-game homestand, we have to take care of business the first 2 games. We got one of them down. We got 1 to go.
All right. Well, it should be a lot of fun. Hope to see you at the Coliseum. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. We'll see you Thursday night.
All right. Thanks, George.
That's Coach Mark Johnson of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, the Tigers and Missouri Western, 5:30 and 7:30 for the doubleheader on Thursday. And then on Saturday, the Bearcats at Northwest Missouri State, 2 and 4 o'clock for the women and the men. We certainly hope to see you out at the Coliseum. If not, you can always catch it on Tiger Radio Mix 103, beginning on Thursday with the Auto World pregame show at 5:05. If you missed any portion of the program, of course, you can always catch the replay at HaysPost.com, and the video replay is on Eagle Cable's channel 14 and 614, 3 times a day on Tuesday and Wednesday, and on HaysPost.com as well. It's going to wrap up the program, brought to you once again by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes, the taste that brings you back. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.